welcome to another episode of the Noble Woman Show. Today we'll be talking to an amazing personality joining us all the way from the United Arab Emirates. Don't go anywhere, stay tuned. Welcome back from the break. This is still the Noble Woman Show. The show is proudly brought to you by Ryan Travels. If you need anything in regards to traveling, your ticketing, your visa, anything you need when you want to travel, you contact Ryan Travels on 0264 623091. 0264 623091. Today on the show, we're talking to the CEO of Women Talk Today UAE, and she is Helen Tucker. Welcome, Helen, to the Noble Woman Show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so pleased I'm able to join you on this amazing show.
Okay, Women Talk Today UAE. How did it start? What inspired it?
It was in 2013, I actually started Women Talk in the UK, and it was looking at supporting women to build up their confidence, their motivation, especially for those who are long-term unemployed and those who wanted to start up their own business. Then when I came over to Dubai, I found that there was a lot of people who were coming to Dubai, working and then leaving. And because I'm here long-term, I wanted to really sort of set some roots and decided to launch Women Talk UAE. And it was phenomenal because we had women coming every month to share their stories, to get support in terms of how to start their business. We have guest speakers who will come and give techniques and tools for women to really sort of take control of their career, their business and their life. And for me, it was really having that network and that community of women, because being in Dubai, it can be quite lonely, it can be quite, you just feel isolated. And because it's such a transient community, people coming and going, it was just having something that would anchor me as well as other women. And it's just been fantastic. It's now grown to over 1,000 members. And we put on meetings which looks at the mind, body, soul, spiritual, and that's why we organize retreats as well. So it's been fantastic. It's been really good, and even good for myself. I've gone through some health issues, and that's really, it's been a source of a source of support.
Okay, so how long have you been doing this for? How long have you been impacting the lives of women?
For Women Talk, it's been for 7 years, and we've won many awards. We've won awards for our work in the community. And December gone, I received the GCC Award, Women of Wonder Award. And that was because during the pandemic, it's been a real challenge because we've had lots of women who've lost their jobs. Some women have found that the time being at home has really made them reevaluate what they want from their life as well. So, and other women have become maybe depressed or because they're lonely. And what I do is send motivational quotes every single morning just to inspire and get women to really sort of take that next step and just think about, okay, tomorrow's another day. Let's see whether we can do something to, get women together just to connect. And that's been via Zoom. So December, it was really nice to receive the award of the Women of Wonder Award, which was entitled I Conquer.
Being an African woman who has started such an initiative in the Arab Emirates, how did you penetrate? Because you are not a nationality from the Emirates, but you've been able to penetrate. I see you have a lot of Arab women, most of the Arabian women who are part of you, who support your cause. How did you penetrate?
I think sometimes you have to, and I say to all women, you have to be your authentic self, because people by people, I'm wanting women to connect, and with the Arabic women who come on board, or I have connections with, they always say to themselves and say to me, we are African as well. We all are African. So they actually have that connection with Africa, and so it's being able to understand the culture as well, and being able to really sort of tap into what women want. And my story and an Arabic woman's story, or a Ghanaian or Nigerian or American woman's story, it's all similar. We go through similar challenges. It's only when we share our stories then we realize, actually, that woman's no different from me. She's going through the same challenges. She's going through the same issues as me. So when we tap into what women are going through, I think that's more of the connection that we have. So it doesn't matter in terms of culture or color or creed, is looking at as women, this is what we actually go through.
Okay, throughout this interview, I've been talking to a lot of women from different parts of Africa who also have organizations like yourself, like what you're doing, and it looks like women are trying to support each other. What would you say, from your point of view, what would you say about women supporting each other? Why do you think a woman should support a fellow woman?
I think because we have that connection, and only when we reveal what we're going through, because sometimes we can actually say, yes, we're okay, I'm happy, and behind closed doors, it could be a different scenario. And it's only when we are brave enough to say, actually, this is what I'm going through, that's when other women can say, I've been through that myself. This is what I did. So it's only when we are honest and we're open and we're transparent with one another, I think that's where we can have that strong connection, and also bring out the best in each other as well. Because it's not just women come together and saying, well, this is how we can support you. It's actually having that understanding. And in different countries and cultures, it's just having that fundamental core of who we are. And sometimes we need to know ourselves. What motivates me in the morning is really sort of listening to gospel and listening to the words. And then when I go to the meetings, is actually sharing that. It's sharing, we need to know ourselves. But when we know ourselves, that's when we can help other women. So it's having that in-depth knowledge of who we are, why we're here, and having a passion and purpose for what we do.
Okay, so Women Talk Today, UAE. UAE, why UAE? I thought it was a global thing for women. Why did you decide to add UAE to it?
It was because when I came here, it was looking at just having that connection first with the UAE, and then it's expanding, because what I found, we have so many women from different countries. We've got members from the US, from France, from West Africa, and so now what we're looking at is Women Talk Global. But we wanted different chapters, so we're starting with UAE, and then another chapter in West Africa, and then another chapter. So we're looking at chapters. We've already set up in the UK as a community interest, because each country has its own differences or quirkiness, and is looking at, okay, what are the specific needs of the women in the UK, which is totally different to the women in the UAE. Totally different to the women in West Africa. I'm from Sierra Leone, so it's, what we would want to do there is to support women to really sort of look at maybe some skills development. So what we're looking at is chapters in each country, and then my vision is to have a women's summit. So we have Women of the World Unite, and that's when we all come together as Women Talk.
What are some of the achievements, or what are some of the impacts, rather, let me just say impacts, what are some of the impacts that your organization has made in the lives of women in Africa, not in the UAE? Have you tried coming home to help your people? Have you tried coming home to do something for your people? Or what are some of the impacts that you have made so far?
Well, what I'm looking at is working with a group of women from here. There's some work in Sierra Leone, so we're looking at helping women within the small communities to actually start developing the confidence to start businesses, small businesses, and then just really sort of giving them the skills to become more independent. We have a group of women who are experts and professionals in terms of counselling, business startup, really sort of connecting women from here or in the UK as well to women in for example, in Sierra Leone or in Ghana as well. I'm a mentor, so I have a mentee, and she's in Ghana. She was in the UAE, and so what I was saying to her, to Gloria, I said, you know, when you go back to Ghana, we'll connect, and then she will open up a chapter, Women Talk chapter in Ghana. So that's what we're looking at, is having people who could represent and support women under the Women Talk ethos and banner.
Okay. So, as a leader, with your achievements as a leader, a woman who is a leader with your achievements, how does that make you feel anytime you think about the kind of things you've achieved, the kind of impact you've made, and what you're doing, and your future plans? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel humbled, because as I mentioned earlier, I went through some really some health issues, and in 2019 there was so many challenges I've faced, and sometimes it's just really sort of looking at, okay, how can I impart my knowledge, my skills and leadership to others, other women, and it's been able to actually help them and assist them to write their own book. So we've had women write their own book. We've helped women to share their stories. So we've compiled chapbooks, and these chapbooks are women's stories that they've gone through some challenges, but they've overcome those challenges. And so you see a woman's story and how she's overcome those challenges, and that gives confidence in other women, but also gives them confidence as well to step out and to have a voice. Because the more we share our stories, the more other women will start sharing theirs. So we've created chapbooks, and the last chapbook is called The Next Chapter, because it's a compilation of 40 women, all from different backgrounds, and they've shared their own story. And so other women can sort of read that. And so that's one of the things what we want to do, is to launch a chapbook for women in Ghana. So we start with them sharing their story. Once they share their story, then the next step is really looking at, okay, so how can we support you now to what you want? What do you want to achieve? What is your dream? And it's dreaming big, because it's really looking at women. We have so much wealth of experience, but sometimes it's having someone or an organization to say, you can do it. We can support you. So if it needs to be the skills or somebody to help you, that's what we can do. We run accountability sessions as well. So when we have these accountability sessions, it means that we've got maybe 10 women will come together. They have a goal, and then every week we check in with each other, so women can actually achieve the goal, and it's being accountable to themselves and to what they want to achieve.
Okay. Viewers, we're still talking to Helen Tucker. She's sharing a lot with us here today on the Known Woman Show. Don't go anywhere, stay tuned. air ticketing, tour packages, hotel reservations, corporate travels, and many more. You can contact Ryan Travels on 0264 623 091 or 0302 408067. You can email Ryan Travels at c.ryantravels@gmail.com. Ryan Travels. You pack, we plan. And welcome back from the break. This is still the Noble Woman Show, and we're talking to Helen Tucker all the way from the United Arab Emirates, sharing with us today about women. Helen, your success story, it has not been easy. You've been through a lot trying to climb this success ladder. Tell us about it. What are some of the challenges you went through? How did you overcome it? Share something with us.
For me, on a personal level, as I said, when I arrived in UAE, I was working, and I sort of lost sight of who I was, what I was doing, and that's when I decided, let me start the Women Talk. Let me do a branch here, because we were already running a branch in the UK. And in March of 2019, I was diagnosed with lymphoma. So I had a tumor which was diagnosed in my scalp. I went to see my consultant. That he said, we'll see what the diagnosis is, and they confirmed it was lymphoma. So for 2 months, I was undergoing treatment for cancer. And during that time, for me, it was looking at, well, why am I on this earth? I have a purpose. My passion, I love to work with women in terms of development. And so for me, it was really taking that step back. It made me realize that I needed to do more. So thankfully, thank God, the treatment worked. I had radiotherapy, that worked, and I've been cancer-free for 2 years now. So so I'll just thank God for that. But it's been, for me, it was like, okay, slow down, do what you truly are passionate about. What is your purpose? And that's why I think when I'm involved with the women's development, I look at different support, how to support them, what they need, telling their story so they can share it. So it's really looking at, okay, what is my legacy? I'm living, and I want to leave a legacy for my children and my children's children. I have 4 grandchildren, and so it's really sort of looking at what do I want to leave as my legacy. And part of that is for women to be a lot more visible, for women to have a voice in terms of what they can do, and for families to really connect with one another. And sometimes it takes a woman to really sort of understand who she is, where she's coming from, and how she's going to get to where she's going to, with the support of the family as well. Because I'm not sort of saying men should be at the side. It's a unit. So that's my journey. And so for me, is to support women who are going through maybe similar issues, whether it's health, whether it's mental, or whether it's just really looking at them changing their careers or maybe starting a business. It's really giving them 100% of who I am and what I'm about, so they can actually achieve their own goals and dreams.
Okay. What inspires you? What inspires you?
What inspires me? Music. I every morning when I get up, the first thing I do is put on gospel music. I put on Tasha Cove, I put on Donnie McClurkin, I put on music that really wakes up my spirit, and especially with the words, I'm grateful every single day. And I think for me, every day, I live it as if it's a new day. So whatever happened yesterday, I think back and think, okay, this happened. Maybe it didn't go as how I planned, but what did I learn from that? And I think going through maybe some health issues, and I don't wish that on anyone. I think it's doing it now, because don't wait if you've got a health issue or somebody has passed away and you start to think, well, let me live my life now. It's actually living each day like it's a new day. So music inspires me. The Women Talk group that we have, as I said, I look for motivational quotes and I share that with the group, and then they share their motivational quotes, listening to women's stories as well. I also have my family, so I see them on a regular basis. So my grandchildren, they keep me on my toes. And it's just really sort of being grateful for each day.
Okay. Your last words on the show. What will be your last word to a young lady who aspires, or who desires, or who has a dream of going out there and making it? Because most of you African women who have been on the show are out there, and you are changing the face of Africa, the African woman. You're changing the face of the African woman. So what would you tell such a woman who has the dream to get to where you people are now? What would be your last word on the show?
It would be to connect with women like me, like you, because I think that's really what we're all about, is actually holding the hand of the next generation. And if somebody wants to get in contact with me, I'm quite open to say, actually, how can I help? And I think women in power, even though some people may see them as untouchables, we can't communicate with them because they may be too busy, or they may be, don't have time. I generally would say we do have time, because we want to make sure that the young girl has someone to connect with and to show them, these are the things that you can do. Sometimes it's allowing someone to think big and to dream big, and for them to dream big, to continue dreaming, because if they stop that dreaming, then they will fall short of their talents. So I think for us is for us to say, you can dream big, you can do what you want to do, and I will support you. We are, whether we like it or not, we are role models, and what we say, what we do, they are looking at us. So whatever I do and say, I always think about, okay, how am I being portrayed? How do they see me? Because everything that I say and do has an impact on their decisions in life. So it's for them to connect, be part of a group, if they can be part of a group that they can connect with and get the support from other women.
Okay. Thank you so much, Helen, for staying with us today on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure. Thank you, Gabriella.
Okay, viewers, it has been an amazing time here today with Helen Tucker, a Sierra Leonean who is based in the Arab Emirates. She's sharing a lot with us, and she's made a lot of impact. I hope you learned from the interview today, because I did. I learned a lot myself from the interview. The show was brought to you by Syrian Travels and Syrian Car Rentals. My hair was styled by Lizzie Beauty Center. If you need hair to come to your house or to provide home service for you to style you up for an occasion, you can call her through the number on your screen, Lizzie Beauty Center, through the number on your screen. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for staying with us today on the show. My name is Gabriela. See you same time next week. Bye bye.